everybody, and welcome back to the basketball edition of the Huddle. I'm Ruth Lang, here with sports editor Mike Brown. And Mike, it's tournament time for the girls in high school basketball action. Alliance, unfortunately, girls have already been knocked out in their Division II sectional semifinal. Talmadge.
Yeah, right. That was last Saturday, Ruth, and Talmadge came in, and just about all the games were postponed that day because of the poor weather, but that game went off, and Alliance got down big early. I think they were down by close to 30 points at halftime, and then had a really good second half, but just couldn't catch up. They had too big a deficit to make up, but they had a good year. I think they made a lot of strides for their program this year. I believe they won 6 games this year, which was a marked improvement over last year, and hopefully they can build. A lot of those players come back next year, so hopefully they can build on that.
Mm-hmm. In the Portage Trail Conference, the third-seeded Southeast defeated Salem in their Division II sectional semifinal on Monday, and that was a game that was postponed. They were replaying it.
Right, they replayed that Monday night. The Southeast girls have had an outstanding season, and that's a pretty young team, and I believe they've won 19 games this year. And a lot of those kids come back next year, but they're still alive in the tournament. They had an impressive win over Salem, and on Thursday night they're going to get to host another tournament game. So I think they'll be the favorite in that game against the Struthers Lady Wildcats too.
Mm-hmm. Also on a roll again are the West Branch girls. They won their sectional semifinal as well with a blowout over Niles, 50-point blowout.
Right, I took that game in Monday night, and boy, they got it rolling early and never let up. And Kaylee Manning led the Warriors in scoring, and I believe she had 19 or 20 points, had a really good game. And that's really helped the West Branch girls this year. Unlike last year, they had, everybody knows who the top 2 scorers are, Melinda Trimmer and Paven Heath. But this year, West Branch has had a third scorer step up, and it's really given them their version of the Big Three. Like the Cavaliers, the West Branch girls have their Big Three, and they've done a great job in scoring and leadership. And they've only lost 1 game this year, and their goal is to get to Columbus, and I think that's very realistic for them.
Now the boys are still a week out from their tournaments, so we saw some regular season action happen this past week for the boys. Also on Monday, the Alliance Louisville rematch happened from that postponement game, where Sarah Sampson was injured. Right,
and the nice part of that, before that game started or resumed on Monday night, the Sampson family handed out plaques to the Louisville officials who helped Sarek that night, helped revive him. And it was a very touching moment and a very heartfelt moment. And, thank goodness things have worked out for the best there for Sarek. And we're so happy, and hopefully continues progress there for him. And but turning to the basketball game, Alliance was down early in the first quarter of the first time they played. And then Alliance played well when they resumed the game, but again, they were too far behind to catch up and lost that game decisively. But Alliance did play much better in the rematch, if you want to call it the rematch there. So.
And Louisville named the outright NBC winners for the boys. They had that defeat over Alliance, but they also beat Marlington in their matchup with them.
Right. Yeah, Louisville's had a great year. They've got everything. They've got size. They've got talent. They've got some good shooters. The tough thing for Louisville is they're going into the tournament, and they're a Division I school, so they played mostly Division II schools during the regular season. The NBC schools are mostly Division II outside of Louisville. So it's kind of tough when you play D2 schools and then you go to a D1 tournament. So we'll see how that plays out, but they certainly have the talent to win some games in a D1 tournament.
Sebring lost their match against Lowellville on Tuesday, and Marlington also ended their regular season with a loss when they played Tuslaw on Monday night.
Yeah, Marlington's kind of going. It's been kind of a roller coaster for the Duke boys basketball team because, they've gone up with a winning streak and went down, went back up another winning streak, and now they're on a losing streak. So it's hard to say. They're done with the regular season now. They get to host a tournament game next Tuesday night against Triway, and we'll see how that plays out. But it's kind of hard to get a grasp on them because they certainly have the talent, but their schedule, they've just gone up and down this year for whatever reason.
And returning to West Branch, Kip DeShields, it might be fair to say that he helped spark a couple of wins for them Friday night against Minerva, and then also Tuesday against South Range.
Yeah, that's and again, all the coaches say you want to be playing well at the end of the regular season going to the tournament. That's happened for them. They've won their last 2 games against Minerva and then went on the road Tuesday night to South Range and got a real good win against the South Range team that I believe has 15 wins on the season. So, West Branch is primed going to the tournament. They're coming on a 2-game winning streak, so we'll see how it plays out for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm. And looking ahead to our schedule, we have...
Yeah, it's a pretty light as far as the girls basketball tournament action. We've got a lot of D2 girls basketball action on Thursday night. The big game will be the West Branch Lady Warriors will be hosting the Hubbard Eagles Thursday night at 7 p.m. in Beloit. And then 2 other Division II girls games involving area teams on Thursday night. We'll find the Struthers Lady Wildcats going to Southeast to play the Pirates at 7 p.m. And Canton South will travel to Marlington. Now, this will be Marlington's first tournament game. Mm-hmm. And that'll be at Marlington at 7 p.m. on Thursday as well.
And for the boys?
Yeah, it's really an abbreviated schedule for the boys because most of the teams have completed their regular season earlier this week. We just have 2 regular season games left this weekend on Friday night. Warren JFK will go to St. Thomas Aquinas, and Springfield Local will be at Salem. And that completes it out. And then next week the boys will start in their tournament action.
And we'll be there, as always, for coverage for the Alliance Review. You can check us out online on Twitter and our website. But until next time, we'll see you on the court.